This 911 Strong podcast is brought to you by our partners at the Police Credit Union of California.
As a financial institution founded by law enforcement for law enforcement and their families over 65 years ago, they have the experience and understanding to help you with all your financial needs,
including exclusive products designed specifically for law enforcement professionals. To become a member today, visit thepolicecu.org. That's the police, the letter C, and the letter U.org.
Or call 800-222-1391 and tell them you heard about them from the 911 Strong podcast. Hey friends, Aram and Kristen here. I know normally you hear the theme song to the opening of our podcast, but we have a very special guest with us, Police Credit Union CEO Eddie Young, and he's here to share some important information about the current financial crisis that's going on, not only across this nation, but globally. I know a lot of people are concerned, Kristen, with some of the banks that have been collapsed, especially up in the Bay Area. And most recently, yesterday, First Republic Bank just collapsed and was taken over by J.P. Morgan Chase in a government-planned acquisition. So, Eddie, we have a lot of concerned listeners who bank with financial institutions such as yours. What is going on? Is there a need to be worried, or are we okay with our money at your bank?
Well, let me share this with you. And by the way, thank you very much for the opportunity to be part of your podcast. No question, there are a lot of uneasiness that's happening right now in the marketplace, and it's justifiably so. But I wanted to be here to share with you and your audience really the difference between the banks and credit unions. And the news over the since March, right? It's been one bank after another, and so far right now there's been a total of 4 banks now. If you kind of count 3 in March, 1 from yesterday, and really, the business models between the banks versus the credit unions are vastly different. And so I can certainly speak on behalf of our organization, the Police Credit Union of California. We, first of all, we do not participate or engage in business transactional activities. For example, like working with startups or working with a tremendous amount of uncovered or uninsured deposits. For us, really, the business of our business, the core of our business, is really with the relationship that we build with members within the law enforcement community. So our investment, unlike the banks where they invest in businesses that may be risky or invest in lending activities that may also be of high risk, we do not do that. Okay. So as an example, yesterday, certainly news brought out about some of their First Republic Bank's prime customers were provided with very favorable loan rates, sub-market loan rates. Okay. We, from a membership standpoint, every member is equal. And so there is no preferential treatment given one versus another. As for our business practice, right? As for our investments, really our investment is in you, our member, those that are within the law enforcement community, family members of law enforcement, both active, retired. Those are the folks that we invest in. So our investment is in whether it's your car loan, whether it's in your mortgage loan, whether it's in some other form of effort, transactional effort, that we help to provide a better financial life for all of you. That's really what we're all about. And so we have been in business. By the way, 2023 is our 70th birthday, if you would want to call it that we've been in business. And I'm very proud to say that when you look at the strength of our organization, and there's certainly a measurement that regulators look at. And for us is what is referred to as capital ratio. Really, in very simplistic terms, the capital ratio really is the size of the piggy bank that would allow us to weather headwinds, economic or financial storms that's brewing. And right now, there's a lot of volatility out there.
Absolutely.
And so for us, that allows us to continue to conduct our business. But just in terms of numerical terms, the federal regulators look at what is called a well-capitalized credit union, the ratio is 7%. So what does that mean? 7% really is extrapolated to 7% of your assets. So for us, as we speak from the end of the previous month, March, we're at 12.57.
Oh, wow.
So that is substantially higher than what is really required.
Yeah.
Banks do not operate like that because also banks have stockholders. And so some of the failures that we have witnessed might very well be contributed to satisfying stockholders' desires. For
Instead of
us,
the customers.
exactly right. For us, it's all about our members, right?
Right.
Who banks refer to as customers, but for us, they're members, right?
Sure.
Because they are part of this cooperative. And so for us, my goal, my mission really is how can I best serve my members, period,
Right.
without having the distraction of stockholders asking for, hey, what's in it for me?
Yeah.
Why isn't my stock value increasing? So there's a very big fundamental difference from stockholder standpoint, how we view who our primary really audience is. And again, it is about our membership. What can we do from both a financial literacy standpoint, how can we educate you, to how can we consult with you to figure out the best course of action for you to take when it comes to loans. And believe me, we have many, unfortunately, young law enforcement members that have borrowed from Bank A, Bank B, Bank C. And when we are able to look at all their finances, we're stunned at times as to the degree of interest that they're paying. And so what we've been able to do is work out certain loans with them that, hey, look, as a matter of fact, we actually have a member that we were able to help from a monthly interest payment standpoint, that we were able to reduce like over $300.
Oh, wow.
And this member, by the way, this member is maybe funny, maybe sad, but his attempt was to come in to close his account because, well, I don't really need my account here at the credit union. And when our staff, started to look at his finances, we were able to present him with a solution that, hey, did you know that through these course of actions, we can help save over $300 a month in payment? You still have a choice. You can still close your account and left. And so what he did was he was so proud that, hey, I came to the credit union. I thought I was going to close my account, and yet I walked away with saving $300 a month with working out certain loans with the credit unions by having the credit union take over these loans for me. And he was very happy, so much so that he went back to his agency and he started becoming one of our advocates.
Oh, good. That's a testament to the credit union. I mean, we share with our listeners on every episode how fantastic we think you are. And as a matter of fact, we get messages from time to time from people that say they actually opened up accounts over there and got approved for loans that they didn't think they were going to get approved for. And they were able to make financial sense of things because of your staff being able to explain things to them. And I just want to let our members know, we've had Eddie on before, and it's very rare to have access and contact with the CEO of a financial institution such as yours. And the fact that you're willing to come out and explain these things and give comfort to our listeners and give them consumer confidence is huge. But I also want to share what a lot of people may not know is Eddie's son is not only a member of the police credit union, but he's also a member of the law enforcement family. He's a police officer in the Bay Area, and he's out there in the trenches just like you and I are. And if it's good enough for Eddie's own family, flesh and blood, and it's good enough for us, we wouldn't steer you wrong. So I just want to thank you, Eddie, for taking the time out of your busy schedule. I know we've tried to get you on here ever since the first financial collapse happened, reported about a month ago, just to give our consumers, our members, confidence knowing that the money is safe at the Police Credit Union of California. So I just want to thank you again for coming on and sharing a moment. Just before we go, I just want to remind our audience also, because it's a strange time in the real estate market right now. A lot of people don't know which way the market's going, but whether you decide to buy or not, if you're looking to get a loan, I can't think of another financial institution that I would go to for my loan other than Police Credit Union California, because they offer a zero down program for law enforcement members.
Yeah.
For mortgage, it's huge. Down payments are huge right
And
now.
I think that new rule just started for new home buyers too, with good credit versus bad credit. So it would be good to look into the credit union to see.
That started yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah.
For us, we're very proud and appreciate your comments, because again, our organization, really the core of it is, what can we do to help support the law enforcement community? And through our way, through the banking process, we're able to offer what we refer to as the hero loan, with 0 down percent for first-time home buyers. And so for many in the law enforcement community that are active law enforcement personnel that may be looking for that very first home, right, in pursuit of that American dream, this is our way of providing assistance, and we're very proud to be able to do so. And quite honestly, there are not that many, if at all, banking institutions that could provide a loan type of that nature. So I'm extremely proud of our organization of being able to provide that, hopefully some sense of comfort to you all, that somebody out there cares about you and is looking after for your interest.
Well, we're certainly proud to have you guys as our title sponsor for now the second year in a row.
Yep.
This partnership has been tremendous for not only our program, but for the credibility, to know that we've affiliated and aligned ourselves with such a credible organization such as the Police Credit Union of California, and just our interactions with your staff. I got to tell you, for those listening, if you want to be a member, you can do it today. You can do it online. You don't have to go into any branch. Just look up the Police Credit Union of California online, and you can simply apply for your membership in a few quick steps.
Yeah. In less than 5 minutes, and you're in.
That's it.
And right now, just to share just a little more tidbit about the credit union, is we have been approached by many that are friends and supporters of law enforcement. And so we have expanded our membership to allow for those that are, again, friends and supporters of law enforcement become members, so that they too can enjoy some of the value and the benefit of membership here.
Nice.
That's incredible, because unlike some of the military credit unions, you have to be an active service member or direct family.
Yeah.
Now, what Eddie's telling us is they've extended the invitation to people that support law enforcement. So that's incredible,
That's
Eddie.
great.
Well, we hope we can expand the membership with our reach on our podcast. And if you have any questions about the podcast or our experience with them, feel free to send us a message, and we'll be happy to tell you how to sign up and move along with that. Well, thanks again, Eddie, for joining us. Thanks. I know you're super busy as the CEO of Police Credit Union of California. I want to thank you again, and we hope that you come out and join us again sometime soon.
Yeah, thanks for carving out time.
Look forward to the next visit.
All righty. Take care, Eddie.
Thank
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Station to all units.
Prepare to copy.
You're listening to the 911 Strong Podcast.
Don't act like I never told you.
With Aram and Kristen, bringing you stimulating discussion.
No, I like the sound of that.
An entertaining conversation.
And now, here's Kristen and Aram.
Hey friends, welcome back to the 911 Strong Podcast. My name is Aram Choe, and with me, as always, is America's favorite dispatcher, Dispatcher Kristen.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
So chipper this morning.
Hey.
Coffee must be kicking in.
I know. I got Starbucks for the first time in a while.
Really?
Coffee.
Were you taking a break from coffee?
Yeah, I don't drink it as much as I used to at all. I've been drinking more like tea. Tea for bed to calm me, and then I drink the passion fruit iced tea with no sweetener from Starbucks. And then to like make me feel like I'm having coffee, I have bone broth in the morning.
Oh, what does that taste like?
I like it. It's just chicken bone broth, and it's just like in a little packet. I'll bring you one tomorrow.
Is it like soup?
Yeah, it's kind of like a chicken soup, just a chicken broth soup. And I guess it's really good for fasting. I don't really do fasting, but to me, it just, because I'm drinking something warm, it gives me the feel of coffee, because the caffeine really doesn't do much for me.
Right.
So, and it just, caffeine inflames my stomach for the most part. So I try to steer clear of it.
Yeah. I don't know if it inflames my stomach, but sugar really causes inflammation in me. So I try to avoid that, but I have a sweet tooth at the same time, so it makes it really hard. So
No.
got to find alternatives. Like I've been doing a lot of acai lately.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, acai is low on the glycemic. I don't know if you know this, but anything that ends with berry, like strawberries, blueberries, raspberries, blackberries, they are very low on the sugar index.
I didn't know that, but
Yeah.
I like eating all of those. Like with I have very bland taste buds, I guess. So I'll eat those berries with zero. What is it? 0% Greek yogurt.
Yeah.
The Faye yogurt. So it's just very tart, and then you have the berries in there for the sweet part of it, and
Yeah.
get my protein in, a little bit of sweets, and trying
That's
to
really
eat better.
it. That's really it. Trying to eat better.
Getting old is fun, guys.
Yeah. I mean, there's proactive ways to beat getting old and getting fat and all that stuff. And that's the thing. You got to be proactive and be conscious of it. So speaking of being proactive and conscious, that leads us to our episode today where we're going to talk about how not to be a victim. I wish I had some cool music I could play in the background. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, you don't have that on this, huh? I thought you did.
I haven't figured it out yet. We're on this, for those listening, we're hosting our podcast through a really awesome studio. And I just haven't figured out how to use all the production stuff on it. But come on, we're an amateur operation here. It is what it is.
Yeah.
We had when we were do you remember when we were with Scriber News? So Scriber News picked us up on their network, and they built a beautiful studio for us in Orange County. It was in the second floor of their news building. Beautiful glass room studio.
It was so nice.
Production team, camera operators, director. It was awesome.
Such great potential.
And then COVID happened, and
then COVID happened, and then they decided that it was more fun, which I have to kind of agree, to go pretend to be Antifa and record everything that they're doing.
yeah.
And they did good at it.
They were at the riots and stuff, but
Yeah.
at the same, it was a drive, and
It was.
It was a lot to do, but we have another opportunity that came our way. This podcast is continuing to be awesome because of you listeners, keeping us, especially our listeners out in Costa Rica. I don't know what's going on in Costa Rica, but I mean, we've been in the top 25, top 100, top 50 forever in Costa Rica. And what was the other country I just told you we broke into? Shoot.
It was in Africa, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'd have to scroll through a lot of text, but
Dang
it's
it.
somewhere.
But,
I wanted, it was
top
in Africa.
10. That was
Yeah.
crazy. We'd like to get back into the top 10 or top 50 here in America, but I'll take the top 200. That's a competitive market up here. We can't really say anything yet, but there's some big news out in the horizon with a big streaming network that wants to pick us up and put us on there so you can watch us on television. Just another opportunity to view us if you're not already viewing us on YouTube. For those listening on audio only, we have a YouTube where we put our video stream on there if you guys want to see our faces. This gives us a bigger audience because this network is huge. They have a huge audience, and just puts us up on there. We're honored to be in talks with them.
Just keep growing.
Yeah. All right, back to a topic of how not to be a victim. So on our last episode, we talked about our experiences with certain callers that come in that maybe call 911 to say their purse was stolen or someone broke into their car. And when we actually find out that they'd never broken the car is left unlocked or the window was rolled down, and someone just saw a crime of opportunity and stole something. That makes a difference between a theft and a burglary. These are maybe some lessons that we think are common that may not be so common. So we'd like to break some of those down for you in case some of our listeners don't know about it. Because some people have never been burgled before. So why not take this opportunity now to prevent that from happening?
I like that word, burgled.
Burgled. That's what it's called.
You've never been burgled before.
That's what it is.
It just sounds wrong. I don't know.
Burgled? Why does that sound wrong?
It just sounds like it was like a made-up word. I don't know.
Speaking
I've been burgled.
of things being made up and wrong, Did I tell you about this law that they're trying to do up in Sacramento that's going to prevent cops from buying off-roster guns?
You might have mentioned it, yeah. Danny's going to have a heart attack when I tell him.
Well, every gun I own is off-roster because
I think his is too.
Yeah,
I think mine is. Actually, mine is.
Yeah, we don't want to carry full-size guns. We want to carry... And, we buy them at ProForce because ProForce is our favorite place to buy guns, ProForce in Brea, California. But it's going to affect businesses like them. If they can't sell to cops, that's their number one clientele, what's going to happen? So we're hoping that this law doesn't pass through. It is absolutely crazy.
So get in line at ProForce and start getting whatever it is you need. And, that's kind of the ironic thing about all these gun laws that at least they're, like, putting out there to, like, I don't know, scare or who knows, distract, whatever the reasoning is. But now our gun sales are through the roof because
every time
these rumors are being put out there. I think they haven't sold more than, let me take it back. I'm jumping around. But I know they skyrocketed during 2020 with all the nonsense that was going on. And it's just continuously climbing because of all these nonsense laws that they're at least like rumored to be out there to, I don't even know. But so ProForce, but get on it.
And who knows? I think in the near future you might see a poster or a pop-up featuring Kristen and I. You never know. You won't know until you find out. So.
And then you can take selfies and tag us. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's funny. Liz, and my wife Liz and I were on a date, and sometimes our dates just involve shopping. And we were at the Disney store because. We're going to Disney World in Orlando for our family vacation. Mm-hmm. And so we wanted to buy some things. We wanted to buy these wristbands. I forget what they're called, but
the magic bands.
Magic bands, that's right. And we walk in, and the lady greets us, and she says, "Hi, welcome in," or "Hi, how are you doing?" "Well, I'm doing great, thank you. How are you?" And she says, "Great, thank you," and she does a double take. Anyway, so we're done. 10 minutes, 15 minutes go by, and we're in line, and this lady comes from the front of the door, and she opens up a register for us and goes, "Oh, I'll take you over here." So we go up, and I kind of have this scowl on my face because shopping's not like my favorite thing to do.
Aram hates shopping.
I hate busy
unless
places.
It's at ProForce.
Yeah, I love ProForce. That's not really shopping; it's a playground for him playing. But here we are in line, and she goes, "I've been with the company for 20 years, and I see a lot of celebrities. And when I heard your voice and I matched that to the face, I knew it was you." I'm like, "Who does she think I am?" Because I'm not a celebrity. And she goes,
the guy from The Hangover?
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. Or Bobby Lee.
Yeah, that's it, Bobby Lee.
And she says, I've been following you on Instagram since day one. And thank you for your service and all that stuff. And I'm like, oh, she knows who I am. So,
funny.
Isn't it funny? It always happens in Disney-related places, either Disneyland or the Disney Store now.
Yeah.
I don't get recognized a lot. It's not like I'm a celebrity. People are recognizing me more because of the iCrime show I was on.
Oh, yeah.
But largely, people that recognize me from social media, it's always Disneyland that people stop me at. And it's funny. I can.
Yeah.
I was beside myself. I hope I didn't look like a complete moron.
But.
Yeah, because I had an RBF and everything, and
that's probably why most people don't approach me because I'm a walking RBF, and they'll like text me later and be like, "Oh, I thought that was you. I saw you here and here and here." I'm like, then come say hi. But I probably have RBF on my face.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So we talked about that. We're like, you know what? We have to be conscious. People can, we're public, and people might recognize us, so we have to behave out in public. So now when I walk around the mall, I have the goofiest smile on my No, I'm just kidding.
Figured Danny has the goofiest smile out of all of us, so I let him smile for us. Yeah.
All right. Back to our show. We go on so many tangents, but
I know.
I think that's why people love us. You get everything. You never know what you're going to get on the 91 Strong podcast.
No.
Sometimes you get squirrels.
Sometimes. Squirrel. Okay. So if you don't want squirrels in your car, or robbers, or burglars, so that you don't get burgled.
You like that one?
I do. That'll be my new word. I'm going to use that on my next call for my work day. But you need to roll up your windows, which includes your sunroof.
Yeah.
And lock your doors.
Yeah.
And don't leave items sitting out like your AirPods or purses or wallets or change or money or anything like that, because they love to check door handles and they love an easy grab.
Yeah. Speaking of an easy grab, I read a report yesterday, because that's my job these days, to read reports, of a woman pumping gas. And as she was pumping gas, she noticed the interior light of her car went on. Or the headlights, I'm sorry, the exterior lights. And that happens when the door is open. So she pops her head in the driver's side door, what was closest to her when she was pumping gas. And she notices that her purse that was in the front seat, passenger seat of the car, was gone. And she had $1,000. She just went to the bank. She had $1,000 cash in there. And what happened was somebody came by and opened the passenger door. You know, they ducked down, opened the passenger door, and stole the purse. And that's a common thing that they do at gas stations because they know people are paying attention to. There's a process. Everybody pays with a debit card. I don't know if you pay inside, it takes even longer. But if you're paying at the pump, you're paying attention to the screen. You're not paying attention to the other side.
Your back is turned.
Yeah. So I tell people now, lock your door when you get to the gas pump. Close your door and lock it. That's so silly. I'm just going to be a few minutes. No, it's going to happen. And sure enough, it happened to this lady. So that goes to your point. Lock your doors, roll up your windows.
Speaking of, it's just going to take a second. Always in the winter, like it's California, like we really don't need to let our cars warm up that long. But in the winter, people feel the need to warm up their cars and they leave it with the keys going in the engine and then they go inside their house.
Yes.
And then they walk out and they're so surprised their car is gone.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just like putting a Target or a for wanted or for sale sign on your car.
Yeah.
And it's gone all the time. Always happens.
People do that. They drive down on those early morning hours and they look for the vapors coming out of the exhaust because they know people they scout neighborhoods, and that's when opportunities happen and they take cars. I do that too. I don't leave my keys in. Luckily, I have a remote start in my truck, but I have a diesel truck, and it does take a little while. And when I leave my house in the morning, it's still in the 20s and 30s. So, and with a diesel truck, it just takes forever to warm up. So I start it, but there's no key in the car. And the minute someone tries to go in and put it in gear, it shuts off. But for those older cars that don't have remote start, that's who unfortunately is getting their cars stolen.
Yeah, that's not good. Or let's see, what's another one? During the summer, because people either A, don't have air conditioning units, or B, they just like a fresh breeze coming in. They leave their windows unlocked and opened while they sleep at night. And that's how everybody breaks in and robs them, and or they get raped too, because it's just an easy target again. Yeah.
It just brought me back to when I was a kid. When I was in elementary school, there was this serial rapist, Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker. Do you remember him?
Yeah.
Well, he was terrorizing people all over East LA and the San Gabriel Valley. And our first house that we lived in was very close to where a lot of his victims were. And we didn't have central air in our house, our first house. It was an older house. And so we left windows open at night. And I think we had one window unit for the whole house, air conditioning unit for the whole house. And I remember I was so terrified of the Night Stalker. Even the name's scary, right? For little kids. Like, Mom, have to lock the doors. And it's hot and he's not going to come here. Well, the night he got caught, I can hear the police sirens going. I'm like, that night I distinctly remember the police sirens going, and on the news they were talking about the capture of the Night Stalker, and it happened really close to where I lived. I'm like, I looked at my mom and I was like, I foreshadowed, like, see, victim. I'm going to be talking about this on my podcast 30 years from now, how not to be a victim. I'm going to remember this story. Oh, man.
Yeah. I just remember my parents like locking the doors and windows and stuff. I didn't know why. I was so little, but yeah, that was kind of crazy. Yeah, he was right there in our backyard. Well, not literal backyard, but city backyard.
There's a good special on Netflix. I think it's Netflix. About the Night Stalker, and Gil Carrillo, the lead detective from LASD, is narrating a large part of that. But really good if you don't know.
I actually got to hear him speak. So we had a guest on here named Tamron who talked about her social media business for law enforcement, and he was actually one of her speakers at her last event. And so it was kind of fangirling, watching him speak, because that was such a crazy case and did a lot. a lot of emotional wear and tear on him and his marriage and all of that too. So
He was almost our chief of police. He interviewed for chief at our department.
really, dang, we should have got him. Not for the last. Anyways, it would have been nice.
We'll move on. All right. So another common one that I've seen is at the grocery store. Women leave their purse on the baby seat area of the shopping cart, right? And then they go do their groceries. They'll go grab their milk. They'll go to the egg aisle.
Yeah.
And people reach in. Either they take the purse, or they reach in and take the wallet. They take the cell phone
Or the phone. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Don't do that
all the time.
Don't do that.
Yeah, no. Just wear it.
Yeah.
I always sling mine around my body anyways. And I don't put it on my shoulder. Granted, if it's a smaller strap, they could probably just rip it off. But it'll be more of a struggle than from my shoulder because you don't expect it. And they could just,
Yeah, those purse.
running with it.
That's called purse snatching, right? Where someone runs up to you and grabs your purse.
Yeah.
The ones I've seen, they're just slinging it on their shoulder. They're not clutching the purse. If you're by yourself, fine, but you've got to be aware. And I think just talking, I've interviewed hundreds of suspects just from my time in the jails. And I talk about these purse snatchers. I talk with them. I interview them. Like, hey, how do you know who to pick your targets? And I'm like, you can tell who's not aware, who's not paying attention. The people on their cell phone, the people that have their head down on their phone as they walk through the street, they're not paying attention. I tell people all the time, stop walking while you're paying attention to your phone. Number one, it's dangerous. You're going to run into the street or run into other people. This last time at the mall, actually, I could see this lady walking right towards me. She was not paying attention, and I'm like, ugh, let me veer my course so that you can completely walk,
walk right through me.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the word. I can't, brain fog right now, but totally not aware of what's going on. Well, that's the type of person that's going to be a victim. Someone can easily grab their purse. And they say they stay away from the women that have their head on the swivel, that are walking around, that make eye contact with them. If you see, like when I walk, I make eye contact with everybody. Especially if they look like they might be a potential
shady
threat. Yeah, I'll just stare them at the eye, and they'll look away. Or if they want to keep staring, then I'm like, okay, what do you want to do here? Do you want to get down? But if you look like, but if you look like you know what you're doing, if you're hyper aware, and I'm sorry, people say that's so exhausting. In this day and age, it could mean the difference between being a victim and not being a victim.
I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Yeah. Be aware, put your head on a swivel, make eye contact with people, get your head out of your phones, your faces out of your phones, and walk. Number one, it's rude. But number two, it just completely, it's like suspects target you. They look for people that are doing that.
Yeah. And it's an easy thing to do. And sad to say, but for the most part, if it's that quick, you're not going to have any suspect description. So there's nothing for the police to go on.
Right.
There's nothing to go off of or anything. And it's not a robbery because you're not fighting them. They just grab it and take off. So it's a lesser crime anyways, which sucks because you're still victimized. What else would be a common one? I don't know.
I got one.
Okay.
So we're in the home delivery day and age, right? Amazon, FedEx, UPS.
Oh,
They ring the doorbell. I get on my kids for this. They ring the doorbell, and what do? They open the door. Because they expect it to be a package. I'm like, don't do that. Look through the window. Look through the little viewfinder on the door first. And even if it is a delivery person, don't open the door without me.
Yeah.
Because we've seen YouTube videos and Instagram videos of people posing as delivery people, pizza people, whatever, and they're home, next thing you know, they're home invading you. Home invading you. That doesn't sound right, but that is correct. They're home invading you. Burgle would sound better.
Okay.
But they, home invasions do that.
Yeah.
I don't ever open the door. I'll just say, hey, thank you. Leave it at the door.
Yeah.
I'll wait for them to leave, and I'll go do it. My wife had a close call at our old house when we lived down the hill. Somebody knocked on the door, and it was a woman, and Liz answers the door. And while that was going on, our dog, we had I don't know if you ever met Cooper, our pit bull.
No.
He was at the back slider just going nuts, and this lady was like, I'm looking for something street, blah, blah, blah. And Liz is like, well, this isn't it, obviously. And we lived on the corner. The street sign was right there. Well, it's obviously not it. She said, well, can you show me where it? Like, no. And I'm sorry, I got to go. My dog's about to break the back door. So she closes the door, and she walks to the back slider. And just as she does that, sees this guy hop over the back wall. So 2 things I learned from that. Don't open the door to strangers unless you're carrying or whatever, right? Unless you're super confident. And if your dog reacts, something's going on. So that was something I found out was common. So we lived in an area that was considered a bedroom community. People left their homes in the morning and came back at night, right? A lot of these houses were empty. So what this lady was doing, she was scouting to see if anybody was even home. And if there was, distracting them while this guy was in the back doing his thing. Yeah. He left because of the dog. And the dog's a great deterrent. Second thing, I will never live on a corner where it has a wall exposed to the street, because a short wall, if it's a tall wall that nobody can climb over, that's different, but a short wall. Yeah. Because this wall was like, I'm not tall, but I can see over it. Yeah. And it was a bad deal for me. And that was like a lesson I learned from the first house I ever lived. The first house I ever bought, we had an alleyway in the back. And the alleys are like transient superhighways. Yeah. Oh yeah. I won't live in the back where if a house backs up to a wash, I won't do that, or an alley. I like to be, embedded. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we looked at too when we looked at houses the first time around, is anything that was near a wash or an alleyway, we're like, no, we'll skip that. And that was when we didn't have as great of a transient problem as we do now in LA. So that was kind of crazy. But yeah, we have we are a corner house, but like majority of our wall, there's a pretty thick hedge that's next to it. So they'd have a hard time getting over. Your wall's super tall too.
Well, but if they're like Danny's height or your height, I would think they'd be able to jump up and look over or whatever. But we have Odin, and he's like a solid 100-pound lab, and he sounds mean. Right. He's not, but he sounds pretty mean.
I'm looking at that wall that you're talking about. You have neighbors. You have people right across the street from that.
Well, the good thing is now too, not only do we have the neighbors, but everybody on our street has cameras. Yeah. And they have the ones that film 24 hours. Right. So we've caught not like lots of people burglarizing the houses, but what we have in our community is a lot of people that come by, which I guess is another one to bring up, is doing mail theft, and then they check the car doors. Yep. So for a time, people did leave their car doors unlocked around here, and you could tell because they'd go through and you just see all the crap that they'd throw out. And then now they were going through the mailboxes that are just the old school, like pull the front and like the whole thing comes down, right? So you can easily get your hand in there. So now the majority of our street has those like thick, quote unquote, security looking box ones. But I can still reach my hand down in there if I don't have my key and get in there. So they must have either they have somebody that has a thin arm like mine, or they have some type of device to stick in there, because that's not stopping them. Right. And we can see when they go through all of that. So my suggestion for neighborhoods like that, at least with ours now, we've learned every night we clear out our mailbox. We don't leave anything in there anymore.
That's a good lesson. Clear out your mailboxes, because I don't care how secure it is, they'll break them. We've seen those big post office ones that have the keyed ones that are steel.
The metal ones.
Yeah, they break into them. And I remember those keys are universal. The ones that postmasters or postal carriers use to get in, they're universal. And we've taken reports where the postal person loses their keys or had them stolen. Definitely don't do that. Another thing about cars in the driveway, if you carry if you have a car that has a garage door opener in it that's not built into the car, like some of the visors have a button you can program, and you're still using the clicker that goes onto your visor, that can open your garage. Don't leave anything of value in the garage, and make sure that the door that leads into your house is locked, because someone can easily bust that door and access the clicker, and now they're in your house. So what I recommend is, for people that don't have the programmable car buttons, is you don't need the large clicker anymore. They have the old, the car alarm fobs. You can program those now. They have them. And just keep that on your keychain, so that when you go in the house with your keys, your garage access goes with you also.
Yeah, that's what we have too.
Yeah.
On our key fob. Yeah, a lot better and not as bulky and visible, and you're always going to have it with you, so you never misplace it either. But yeah, they just look for that smart and easy grab, and if you leave it out there, it's like gifting it to them.
Yeah. If you think about it, I mean, if you train yourself to just always be aware, you'll notice these things. I mean, it's not like Kristen and I went to a class where we can teach people how to not be victims, although I bet you we can make a lot of money hosting a class. It really comes down to experience and just training our brains to be aware. I mean, we're in this field where even walking to our cars after our shift, we kind of have to keep our head in the swivel. So we're just kind of always hyper aware.
I've been chased by a transient lady going to my car.
Recently?
Yeah. Well, no, when I was working swing shift.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she would sit on, and so where some of our cars park is on like a street, and we have a back parking lot. But I park on the street because it's closer to where my office is. And she used to sit on that bus bench right at the, northwest corner. And then it was like I describe her as like the angry cat lady on The Simpsons that just like comes at you yelling like weird things, throwing cats. And yeah, she saw me and she like freaking beelined it. And I went and shut my car door, and then she's in the middle of the street. So I'm like, all right, I'll take the long way around and out of there. So I'm to confront her. But yeah, you just never know what you're going to get. I mean,
use the buddy system next time.
Know.
Walk with somebody.
Yeah. I should have probably done that, but
because a lot of people have this false sense of security, like, I carry a gun, I'll be fine. But not every situation calls for a gun, right?
Or I work in a department and I should be fine, and people come in that shouldn't be coming in.
Yeah, what's funny is people, believe it or not, people don't like cops.
Yeah.
And sometimes they visit police departments and they look for cars that look like they might belong to officers. Well, how do you know which cars belong to officers? Well, if you're putting thin blue line stickers on your car, or your license plate says something like,
pro police.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of something funny without giving away one of our license plates at work.
That's why I said that instead.
Yeah. But somebody has a custom plate at work that is a dead giveaway. Don't do that. And we had for like a few weeks, we've had cars that had their tires punctured in our city parking lot. I'm like, don't do that. Don't advertise you're a cop. Don't wear 511 pants off duty with your gas can Oakleys and sheepdog response hat, and don't do that. I mean, I'm not a cop.
Where we are in LA County, even San Bernardino County, like it's not very police friendly environment. I mean, maybe a little bit more to some extent some places, but I know like in different states, like their town is very pro, and they love their people, and it's not like that here.
People park their take-home cars, police cars, in front of their house.
We would never do that. We would never do that here.
It's so
we
different.
shy away from that. Yeah, we just don't have that. We don't have that convenience or privilege, and I'm sure it would be nice to live in a hometown like that where the majority of people are cool, but we have a lot of crazies running around. It's just not like that.
I've been sending Liz a lot of listings in Tennessee, right? Just fantasizing about living somewhere else. But man, these prices, I've been doing this for the last few years. These prices have crept up.
I'm sure.
Yeah. So.
Because everybody's moving out of California.
Yeah. But I got a house that you and I, your family and our family should split. It's a cabin overlooking a river. Oh, it's beautiful. Beautiful.
Where at?
Tennessee. East Tennessee.
Yeah, but they get tornadoes.
No, not there. Not there.
I don't know.
It's not
we'll see.
Part of tornado alley. But man, the hardest part would be getting out there. You have to, now with the cost of flights, it wouldn't be worth it.
No, we'd have to do like a cross-country drive with U-Hauls and all the things, and I don't know. We'll see. I'm still eyeballing Oregon, even though every drug under the sun is legalized, and but along the coast where they're more normal, or Montana.
Montana is so expensive. I looked at Billings. I've looked at what's the big one?
Okay, Wyoming then.
Okay, we'll see.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Wherever you guys
got
go,
a few years.
we'll go. Wherever we go, you guys better come.
You just have to so if anybody's listening has a suggestion, they like the desert, we like the forest. So as long as that's within, I'd say, an hour's distance, then we can go there. Then you guys get the desert, we'll get the forest.
That keeps us in California.
Right? I know. There's not too many places like that.
Yeah. Well, Arizona, northern Arizona, parts of Utah, Colorado. Yeah. Maybe Montana, Wyoming. Yeah. Well, we'll see.
I don't know.
We got a few
We got
years
some
to go.
years. We got some years.
Yeah. All righty. Well, that does it for this episode of the 911 Strong podcast. On behalf of Kristen Jauregui and myself, we thank you for listening.
Lock your doors.
Lock your doors. Don't be a victim. And if you have a friend, I don't think our listeners are victims, but if you have friends and family members that you feel might benefit from this episode, send this episode their way. You can easily, if you're on Apple Podcasts, you just hit the share button and you can text them the episode. Same with Spotify and Google Play, or send them the YouTube link. Not only is it worthwhile for them, it could be entertaining too. All right, folks, we'll catch you guys next time. Adios.
Bye.